Lilith, the forbidden woman the church doesn't want you to know about. Lilith is an enigmatic and controversial figure in the history of religious and mythological beliefs. Often associated with mystery and rejection, her name appears in various ancient texts, though her origin and exact meaning are subject to debate. Jewish tradition links her to creation myths, while in Christianity, she is seen as a symbol of rebellion and temptation. However, Lilith has never held a prominent place in the official doctrine of major religions, making her an almost clandestine figure. The name Lilith first appears in Mesopotamian traditions, where she was seen as a wind or night demon. In Sumerian legends, Lilith is a dangerous female entity, frequenting deserts and stalking travelers. In ancient Babylon, the Lilu, wind demons, were considered evil beings that brought misfortune, especially to pregnant women and young children. Lilith first appears in Jewish tradition in the alphabet of Genesis and the Babylonian Talmud. In Hebrew mythology, she is described as the first wife of Adam, created by God before Eve. Unlike Eve, who was created from Adam's rib, Lilith was formed from the same earth as him. This detail is crucial in understanding her character. Lilith did not accept being subordinate to Adam and instead demanded equality. This challenge led Lilith to leave Eden and be replaced by a more submissive Eve. In her rebellion, Lilith became a symbol of female independence, though in many texts, she is portrayed as a vengeful and dangerous demon. The most complete account of Lilith in Jewish tradition is found in mystical texts such as the Zohar and the alphabet of Ben Sira. In these texts, Lilith leaves Eden after a dispute with Adam over her role in the relationship. The alphabet of Ben Sira, a medieval text of uncertain origin, tells that Lilith pronounced God's secret name and fled to the Red Sea, where she lived among demons. This provoked God's wrath, and he sent 3 angels to bring her back, though Lilith refused. Instead, she promised not to harm Adam's children, provided they were marked with protective amulets. This myth reinforced her reputation as a being who preys on newborns and women in labor. On the other hand, in the Zohar, a foundational Kabbalistic text, Lilith is described as the consort of Samael, the fallen angel, reinforcing her role as a figure representing temptation and chaos. In Kabbalistic tradition, Lilith is associated with the night, uncontrolled sexual desire, and destructive power. Unlike Judaism, early Christianity did not officially incorporate Lilith into its theological narrative. However, some Christian theologians in the Middle Ages, influenced by Jewish legends and local folklore, began referencing her as a demon. In medieval Christian art and literature, Lilith often appears as a temptress or an embodiment of female evil. She is linked with the serpent in the Garden of Eden, suggesting that she was the one who tempted Eve to eat the forbidden fruit. In this context, Lilith becomes a dual figure, the first woman who defied divine order and the mother of demons. Christian theologians, especially during the Middle Ages, viewed Lilith as a representation of the sin of lust and carnal desire. Her image served to reinforce the idea that women who strayed from the path of virtue could become agents of evil. Lilith has been a recurring theme in art and literature. Painters, poets, and writers have depicted her as both alluring and terrifying. In Renaissance art, Lilith appears as a seductive woman, often portrayed alongside serpents, emphasizing her association with deception and temptation. One of the most influential authors in creating the modern image of Lilith was the English poet Dante Gabriel Rossetti, who describes her in his poem, Lady Lilith, as a beautiful but deadly woman, whose power lies in her ability to seduce and destroy. Moreover, in the 19th century, feminist movements began reclaiming Lilith as a symbol of female resistance. Instead of seeing her as a malign figure, many interpreted her as a woman who refused to submit to male authority and fought for her independence. In the 20th and 21st centuries, Lilith has resurfaced as a feminist icon. The myth of the first woman who refuses to be dominated by man has become a powerful symbol of female empowerment. For many feminists, Lilith represents the struggle for gender equality, sexual autonomy, and personal freedom. Contemporary feminism has reclaimed Lilith's image, moving her away from her demonic role and viewing her more as a figure of resistance and freedom. She is often found in essays, artworks, and movements seeking to challenge the patriarchal norms of society. Lilith's story, with its powerful message of rebellion and female independence, has been, in many ways, silenced by mainstream religious institutions. For Christianity, which has traditionally promoted rigid gender roles, Lilith represents a threat to patriarchal structures. The Church has tended to omit figures that challenge the established order. Lilith, being a figure associated with uncontrolled sexuality and rebellion against male authority, conflicts with the dominant narrative about the role of women in religion. Lilith has evolved from a demonic figure in Sumerian and Jewish mythology to a modern symbol of female resistance. Although she has often been portrayed as dangerous and malign, her story is also one of defiance against power and the fight for autonomy. It is precisely this subversive nature that has led to her concealment and demonization by religious institutions. As societies move toward greater gender equality and question traditional roles, Lilith remains a relevant figure, whose message resonates with modern struggles for justice and freedom. Thank you for watching our video. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Give it a like, comment your thoughts, and share this video with your friends and family.